Hello, Teresa.
I'm like, yeah, wow. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And another hot tea with pleasure. I am
Welcome
Hillary in
home.
Ontario, Canada.
And I'm Teresa in the beautiful, rainy, not so much sunny Barbados.
That's right. That's so right. Oh, actually, it's raining here too, so we're not bad. What are you whining about? I think maybe that's what you're whining about.
Maybe rainy, not so sunny.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to whine about the same thing because we only get like probably about 2 months, a little bit 3 months of summertime here in
Sunshine.
Canada, and then if it's raining all the time, we might as well have spring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Well,
actually
the
whine
rain brings
tonight
good,
too.
the rain good, bring good thing. I have my wine, but mine is more of well, all wines are from fruits
Yeah, I
anyway.
do. I do Cabernet.
More
I
of
like that better.
a 5 finger thing.
Yeah, I like a dry wine,
This one
and
is sweet.
help with the blood pressure. And my doctor said I can have this. So,
Do
okay,
you need
yep,
to make you?
that's right. Tonight we're talking about mental health issues, and we're going to specifically talk about Barbados. Let's before we get into that, just everyone remember that the World Mental Health Day this year is October. Well, every year is October 10th. This year's theme is mental health is a universal human right. Many people battle with mental health, and there are lots of different um, ideologies and some of
Stigmas.
it cultural about what mental health looks like, what it is, and we're just going to deep dive into it. Talk about the cultural experience there in Barbados. There is a rise of suicides in Barbados, unfortunately, and because we're going down there for July 28th, we really want to center in on it. And as a fellow Barbadians, want to let people know that it is okay not to be okay. Doesn't mean that you're crazy or there's that thing behind it, and associating that word to meaning something bad. And we just want to take that stigma away from that and center and see what is going on. I heard a lot of it has to do with financial, but I think what the piece we're going to look at tonight is the cultural piece and how it's seen to be not okay. Take it away, Teresa. I'm joking.
Okay, like Hillary said, we are going to zoom in on mental health here in Barbados. When you're growing up, you hear people talk about, oh, he or she is a madman. And you don't really think about it as this is something that can happen to you, right? So people usually have it as, oh, that person smoked too much of this or drink too much of that. That's why they behaving like that. But in some scenarios, the person could what we call loosely as trip
Mm-hmm.
because of a loss, whether it's a loss in the family, whether it's a loss of basically a loved one. Things like this can happen, and we can we can just go into that state of depression.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we hear the person is mad, we don't think, oh, depression, anxiety, what else causes mental issues. We don't think about that. We
Mm-hmm.
mainly focus on the negative.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they drink too much, they're having a drink fit, and that is the reason why they're getting on like that and stuff like that. So that is stigma that's attached to it. And I think because of that, a lot of people kind of keep quiet about it. If it's a family member, they say, oh, that person is just sick. They try to, like most things that you don't want to talk about, shove it, shove it underneath the bed, put it underneath the carpet,
Yeah.
and put that person in hiding. But I have come to learn over the years from speaking to persons that work within the field,
Mm-hmm.
our, our only hospital that we have here, psychiatric
We're
hospital,
at
is
like,
in the
yeah. Say that one more time, Teresa. Can you raise your voice a little bit so everyone can hear you?
You want me to tie my tongue again to get
No,
that word
I
out?
no. I just want to make sure that everyone can hear you.
Psychiatric hospital. Psychiatric hospital. That's it. That is located in Black Rock and
I have background people that are a little bit loud and I'm trying to get them to be quiet so you guys can hear me instead of hearing them.
oh, well, I didn't get any feedback from your background, so that's good. That's the hospital that we have here that deals with mental health issues, and like I said, it's not only for, I don't know what's the term, people that we would call crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but people that suffer depression, people that suffer with anxiety, stuff like that. Okay, she's gone.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, there you are. So yeah, so that is what we're gonna talk about tonight. There's also a Instagram page I can share with you. It's called Let's, and this is all one word, Let's Unpack It CO. Let's Unpack It CO. And there's
Mm-hmm.
also an Instagram page, Mental Wellness Barbados. Those two pages you can have a look at. We'll post them in our script later.
Yeah.
So those are two that you can go on and you can follow and you can be a part of the events and stuff that they're having there for Barbados. You know, Hillary mentioned mental health worldwide, the mental health day. They have it in October. What was the date?
October 23rd, because you have different
October.
they have different types of mental health, and
Mm-hmm.
I know they're
That is,
separately handled every year and celebrated each year.
yeah.
We have paranoia, schizophrenia, and there's
And
multiple
the
ones that are
bipolar, yeah.
yeah, that are handled on different days, but this is the world one. The world
Yeah, that's
mental health awareness
the
day is
world
October 23rd worldwide.
October 23rd. But here in Barbados, when you follow the Mental Wellness Barbados page, you will see they have a day set out for when they, I guess, they zoom in on mental health here. And I guess that would be leading up to the general one in October. So the one here is in May, and the bipolar one, but the bipolar World Day, that's in March. So you can go onto those two Instagram pages and you have a look. We will leave that information in our script for you. But if our social marketers, you can make a note of that. You drop in the chat for her to leave it for afterwards. And I'm sure you can find assistance there along with some other links that we will leave with you from PAHO. PAHO, as we know, is a Pan American Health Organization. There is the bigger body. They're the bigger body that will deal with worldwide stuff. So
Yeah, so Paho has an office in
that
Barbados.
information will be there as well.
Yeah, they have an office in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean countries, and they focus on providing assistance to the member states to develop, implement policies, plans, and programs through coordinated and intersectional approaches. Specifically, assistance is provided through the capacity development and technical guidance building and existence skills, strengthening individual, families, and community resilience during health emergencies. Their integrated mental health into primary health care and alignment and achievements with mental health care technologies. So let's dig in. I was talking to some family members down there, and this is why when I was talking to you about what should we do, we're going down to Barbados. What should we talk about? And you know, it's hard to ignore the amount of suicides and the suicide rate that has increased over the last 3 weeks in Barbados, and the way that it's being done is it's you can't not see it. You have to. It's something you have to talk about, and you know, I even coming up in Barbados, I was there, for a first part of my life, and I remember the stigma that was associated to the psychiatric hospital, for example, and what it was called, the nicknames that it was called, and you being teased if you even walk by it. Remember that? You remember that? Yeah, right. And so it stuck. It sticks to you, where it was like associate that word with a person, and the imagery behind what that person looks like, or what that looks like. What is a person that goes to a psychiatric hospital look like? Oh, they must be crazy and mad and pulling their hair out and
Mhm.
this and that, and those words are impactful for people. And to consistently hear that over and over again, you start to believe it, right? So we are left with uh, the idea that mental health looks one way when it's not true. Mental health can look multiple. Hi, Victor. Mental health can look multiple ways. You might not even know a person is battling mental health, and those ones are very shocking and surprising because you might see a person today looking fine, they're laughing, they're doing well in work, and there's thriving, and you're like, wow, man, and then unfortunately that person takes their life, and you're wondering what the hell happened. And what happened was society told them it was not okay to be not okay. It was not okay for me to say or advocate for myself that I need some help, and they don't feel like they have an outlet or a place to go.
I find too with the most, there are two recent ones that we had already for this month,
Mm-hmm.
and persons are looking at it, why? But you don't know, and I guess because we as a society, we don't talk about stuff like this. Because,
Mm-hmm.
as like you said, the stigma that's attached to it. And you see on the outside, everything is going good for this person. But then if you're not close to an individual that is going through such, you just don't know what that person is thinking. You don't know.
And that is so true. And another thing too is, you know, we take that word depression, and you know, you think that person has to be walking around, with their head down to the ground, to be depressed. You think that, and another one that we have to talk about tonight at some point is men and mental health in Barbados, and men, how they are perceived when it comes to mental health. Are they allowed to express themselves and say, "Hey, I'm not doing well. I need help." Or is that seen as, oh, you're being a wuss, what's wrong with you, manage your business? So there's so many different variants that I think that Paho, for example, is battling with, and different small agencies, because we were even researching mental health in Barbados, and we're having a hard time finding outlets of support for mental health. And the main place that we found mental health is the same place that, as Victor says, they call the Green Gates. So if the place that I think in my head means, oh, something's wrong with you, you're crazy, whatever, is the only outlet that I have that I can find right away, do I go to it, or will I stay silent? That is the question. Teresa.
Okay, with Paho, some of the key facts from Paho, they deal with especially if in the region, the depression, it continues to be a leading mental health disorder, and it's twice as frequent in women and men. So they're saying that it's between 10 to 15% of women in the industrial countries and 20 to 40% of the women in the developing countries suffer from depression, especially during pregnancy or postpartum period. Mental and neurological disorders in elderly, such as the Alzheimer's disease and dementia, depression, is contributed significantly to the burden of non-communicable diseases. Where you go? And the Americas, the prevalence of the dementia in the elderly person, which is over 60, it ranged from 6.46% to 8.48%. And they're also saying that among adults with severe,
Mm-hmm.
moderate, effective anxiety and substance use disorders, the median treatment gap is 73.5, and for the region of the Americas, and 47.2 for North America. So
Mm-hmm.
you see, for more information on that, you can check out the website on PAHO.org.
Yeah.
You can find more of that information there. Um, oh, that's 22. Yes, you can find more of that information there on PAHO.
Okay.
Anything you want to add there, from Hillary?
Yes. So let's talk about the culture in Barbados. Like, so for example, Teresa, if I came up to you and, as a male or female, and I say to you, man, I'm so depressed about all these bills. What would you say to me?
Really, truly, I don't know. I don't know, because
I had a conversation this weekend. It was very interesting. The person said, and this is in Barbados. The person said, I don't understand why this person committed suicide. He literally had money problems. Doesn't everybody have money problems? I'm going to have to turn my camera. The reason I'm turning my camera off, I want you guys to know, my son keeps going up and down the stairs. I'm downstairs because I'm having my screen built a certain way, like done a certain way, so I don't have to keep taking it up and down. That's why I'm taking so long to get back on the screen. He keeps going up and down the stairs, and that's why I have to keep turning off and off the camera. And then he gets his attitude when I say this. So I want you guys to realize that he's going to pass in my background. I'm not going to turn my camera off.
I love you.
You can go now. Go ahead.
I love you.
I can't, like, you can't keep it raw and real, right? I was like, I'm not going to keep turning off my camera on all because you keep leaving your head upstairs. Anyhow, so you have you have so he said, doesn't everybody have money issues? But we have to realize
that's why I said to you when you asked me that. I said, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, we have to
That's
real.
the wrong response for a lot of people, because
Well, this is
persons
the
can
thing.
turn to him or her and say the same thing. I have the same issues that you're having, so I don't know. So that's the
Right,
response you get from a lot of people.
right, and you can't. You
Detected at the county.
He just keeps giving.
What's that?
That's my son. So you can't. And what happens is that person's emotion is minimized. Everybody has money problems. You do not know what else besides money a person is dealing with. Maybe how they got the money, what's associated with the money, what else issue they're dealing with, what kind of tools they have to deal with it, what kind of support system they have or don't have. We don't think about that when we have that statement come to us, and the first thing out of our mouths is, well, everybody has that problem. Yeah, everybody might have that problem, but everyone has different type of support systems, and or none. And we have to respect a person and understand that it's okay for them to not be okay. It is not your right to determine if a person is okay or not. And this is the point and the piece I think that Barbados is struggling with when it comes to mental health issues, is that piece of determining what okay looks like. It's that piece of determining who's okay and who's not okay, and do I have a right to determine if you're not okay, right? So I think that's the piece that they keep battling with. And I had one lady down there that I was doing live coaching with, and she had an issue that was causing her immense stress and had no place to display it. And when she did display it, it came off in a way that was suitable to call her crazy. And she had asked for help on multiple occasions, and from being laughed at, to not having an outlet, to not being able to find it, to not even want to do it because she didn't want the stigma of the green gates, as Victor called it. So I'm not understanding what you mean, Victor. You said depends if the finances affects their survival mechanism. Well, I'm agreeing with you, Victor. That's the whole point, is that
That's usually what how it
Yeah,
is.
that's the whole point. The whole point is when you have when you say a statement like that and say, well, everybody has money issues, you do not know what else that person is dealing with and what that really means to them. And so by saying that word, by saying that phrase, you belittle and minimize their emotional state and what they're dealing with. And that's the point. So I'm agreeing with you in that in that that's what we're talking about. So yeah. Go on, Teresa.
Okay, we're still here with Paho. Paho, they have a section here we talk about means of suicide,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about being accountable for, well, basically looking out for those
Mm-hmm.
signs that persons are in need of someone in need of support.
Mm-hmm.
It might not always be financial support
Exactly.
because, just get up and say, well, someone comes to you and say, well, I can't pay my bills, I can't purchase food, I can't do XYZ. We have a saying that children don't suffer. And if you, as a parent, you have to make the decision of doing XYZ for your children's livelihood,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't meet that need, then you go into depression.
Yeah.
And when you go into depression, then the children will suffer, will feel that pain as well.
Yes.
So they're saying that they're saying here we can offer support this way, even if it's a case that if you're more financially able than the other person, you can take a child in, or what they call adopt a child.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do that, you basically adopt the child. You supply for the child's needs, going to school, um, uniforms, feeding them, bringing them with you on weekends or after school, doing something with them that the parent cannot do because in the state that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
So we offer that support for the individuals.
Mm-hmm.
There was another there's an incident that I can recall, and this was nothing to do with finances.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never seen it like this before or never understood it. The person was pregnant, and after pregnancy, the person behaves as if they were never pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and they were into depression.
Yeah.
They won't do anything with the child, and I was like, how can you know that? How can you not know that you were pregnant? How can you not accept it?
Well,
You
I'll
were the
tell you
person that
how.
9 months. Now, after the child is born, you went through the whole labor pains and all that, and now that the child is here,
Well,
you're like
that's
pushing it.
postpartum depression,
But
Teresa.
that's the thing. I couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
And it's
I
only then when
unfortunately,
that individual, a friend of
I've
mine, went into that, I was
yeah.
like, oh, this is what this is. And everyone, not only the grandmother, father, because you would expect they would step, and which they did. Not only them, but persons within her circle, we stepped in and we played a role. And the first 3 months, she would not have any contact with the child.
I just want to
Any
read what's on the screen here for 1 second. Victor says depends on the if the financial affects their survival mechanism, how it affects their mental being. Not having money and not being able to eat or have shelter is different. So I agree with you for the first two. Depends on the financial affects their survival mechanism and how it affects the mental health. Not having money and not being able to eat or have shelter is different. Um, it's true and not true at the same time. What I'm trying to say is each item you have there is important to some person. So, for example, not having money to some person, let's say that is their only outlet, in that that's how they see themselves, that can become an issue for a person. Not being able to eat, obviously, yes, that becomes an issue for a person, and not having shelter. So we have to recognize that every single aspect is real for that person. Whether and no mental health is worse than the other. It is what it is, right? And to Teresa, when it comes to postpartum depression, unfortunately, I had postpartum depression with my second. No, was it my second? Hold on. Yeah. my
Or
my
your turn.
second. My third. No. My second, I had postpartum depression, and I could understand the whole idea of not recognizing that you have a child, or being so angry. It was, I wasn't myself. I didn't know. I remember getting up one night and hearing him cry and putting my fist through the wall. you know um Not just it was just a numbing situation. So again, that when it comes to postpartum depression, a lot of women do not even admit that they have it or had it, because of the stigma that is associated to it by society. And so we
Mm.
have to stop pointing fingers at everyone, and and trying to make people feel bad for feeling bad. Let people have their moment. If you're having a moment, if you're having or if it's a situation, or a mentality, or something, whatever that feeling is, it's real for that person at that time. It's real for them. Let them have it. Allow them
What do
to be
you
themselves. And what you can do, though, what you want to do, what you can do, is support that person. Talk to
mm.
them. You
I
cannot.
think that's the biggest thing
Yeah.
that we as a society, we as Bajans need to do is offer support.
Support. That's bigger. And let me tell you something, because I'll tell you this. My mom died from stress. Okay. My mom died from stress. We went on to Barbados on vacation, and unfortunately, I never came back with my mom. Okay. And I remember my mom, and I remember how much she was so focused on making sure everybody was okay. She was so focused on making sure that everyone was doing all right. But she was never really focused on herself. And she allows stress to take her life. And when I say that, it sounds harsh, but it's true. Because there was no one to say, I'm not okay. There was no one to help. Though everyone had their hands out. Oh, here comes our minute time. Sorry guys, we're not paying for that. We're not paying for no Zoom. We try to get Zoom. We did that before and was messing up. Anyhow, so she tried to get help. And this is why I always say stress can kill you. It really, really, truly can take your life. It took my mom's life. And with that, it took, an experience that I wish I had with her. And so when a person says to you, I am stressed out and I can't do it, don't tell them they can. Don't tell them, don't worry about it, it'll pass over. Oh, what is that? What is that line they have? This too will pass. you know, in that moment, say, I hear you and I understand and I'm here with you and I get it, and maybe let's look for some solutions, but all I can do is support you. All I can do is love you. All I can do is be that ear. And sometimes shut the up and listen. That's it. Just sit and listen. And so when my mom passed away and I didn't have anyone, I was alone. I reached out to friends and family that I thought were friends and family. And the first thing, and I'm going to talk about Barbados in particular because we're talking about that tonight, I heard was, I don't have the money, so I can't help you. I never call and ask for money. Not even one time did I say I wanted money. What I needed was an ear. What I needed was
Mhm.
someone to say that they cared about me enough to know that if I was eating, if I was sleeping, if I needed help. And I, at that time, was extremely suicidal. So sometimes we just need to shut the up and listen. So with that, we're going to take a 2 minute break, and we're going to come right back and continue talking about mental health in Barbados. It is okay not to be okay. Let's talk about it, Barbados. We'll be right back.
Cause when life and sugar, they just want to stick. The woman know they're thirsty and they want to taste it. Sugar boy, don't play with my head. If I can't get you, boy, I don't want no one else. Sugar boy, please understand. Don't ever give my dinner to another woman. Chicken go down low, when I come up so, cause when life and sugar, they just want to stick. The woman know they're thirsty and they want to taste it. Sugar boy, don't play with my head. If I can't get you, boy, I don't want no one else. Sugar boy, please understand. Don't ever give my dinner to another woman. Chicken go down low, when I come up so, cause when life and sugar.
At some point, I'm going to get better at that. And the sound, I'm pretty sure they heard everything. Whatever. It is what it is. Okay, we are back here with Hot Tea with Pleasures. I'm Hillary, Ontario, Canada.
And I'm Teresa in Island of Barbados, and we're having some heavy showers now.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yep, and we're talking. Well, it's rain over here too. We're talking about mental health in Barbados. We love Barbados. We love our culture. We love, and don't think that we're picking on Barbados. We're talking about Barbados because we're going there. Well, I'm going there. Teresa's already there, and one of the things that we, as Barbadians have an issue with is looking at the mental health piece. And with the recent rise of mental health and suicides in Barbados, we thought as fellow Barbadians, it is important for us to give voice to that. So let's continue the conversation. I was sharing about my mom and her mental health issue, because stress is a mental health issue, by the way. And, not being able to get a hold of that. And I remember when the doctor spoke and said, I said, what was wrong with her? And they put it down as a heart attack, by the way. And it wasn't a heart attack. Her heart was healthy. It had nothing to do with that. It had to do with her not being able to manage, and she had an anxiety attack. And so, anxiety attacks sometimes can look like a heart attack, and it can turn into that. It can lead to stroke and many, many other things. And so, when you are having anxiety, and remember, you ever heard a child say I'm really, really shy, and they're sweating and they're, afraid and throwing up, and we're like, buck up, what's wrong with you? And it's anxiety attack the child's having.
Mm-hmm.
And you just told them to deal with it, basically. How would you feel if something traumatic was happening to you and I looked over and you said, deal with it, so anyhow, we have to really look at that. There are symptoms of mental health that you can see that are physical and emotional, like disbelief, feelings of fear, shock, anger, sadness, worry, numbness and frustration, changes in appetites, energy, desire, and interest, difficulty sleeping or nightmares, concentration or making decisions, physical reaction such as headaches, body aches, stomach problems and skin rashes, worsening chronic health problems, mental health conditions, and increase of tobacco, alcohol, or other substances. And it's natural to feel stress, by the way. It's natural to feel anxiety and grief and worry during traumatic events such as mass shootings, natural disasters, and pandemics, for example, which really affect the mental health of the world. So there are different things you can do to cope and to help with mental health and stress. Number one, be selfish. I'm going to say it really loud. Be selfish. Me time. You remember back in the 90s that lady introduced me time? Everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's so selfish. Why is she doing me time? Me time. Please, everybody, do me time. I do it all the time.
Time out for you.
Yes, I do it all the time, girl. Friday's me time. And sometimes when I was, a single mom and not being able to afford certain things, my me time happened in the restroom. I would go into my washroom, lock the door, and that was my me time, girl. I'm in there using the toilet. Well, you need to come in here half an hour. I need a break. So, watch television, some reading, listen to some news stories, laugh. Laughing is medicine, okay? Take care of your body.
Value yourself.
Yep, and yourself. Teresa can tell you about taking care of your body. You know, her being having a spa and natural products and dealing, and then masseuse. She knows about sorry, massage therapist. Sorry, you know, she knows about the the benefits of well-being and taking care of yourself, getting plenty of sleep, exercising. Exercising could be just going for a walk. It could literally be sitting on your patio and shaking your legs up and down or whatever. Move your body, okay? Uh,
Some people might but think it's funny, but
yeah.
even walking in the rain, that's
Oh, I
soothing.
love walking in the rain,
That's soothing.
Teresa. I love it. I love walking in the
I'll get
rain.
your umbrella when you get here.
Umbrella. I need no umbrella, girl. I walk in the rain. Okay.
So, I don't know. Did I share with you the 10 things you can do for mental health?
Nope. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hold on.
Let
Number
me see
one,
if I
drink
can
some
find it
wine.
here.
No, I'm joking.
I'll pull it up here so that you can, we can go through it together
Mm-hmm.
as we're talking about doing things together and being supportive.
Yep.
Let's continue on that path. Let me just get the link here for you. Mental health.
Well, I'll
Okay, while I
continue.
do that,
Yeah.
go on.
Okay.
That was gonna say, well, I'm getting it up that you can share. You can go
Okay,
on.
I'll continue to say, you know, make time to unwind. I always say, you know, take a minute, smell the roses. That's you know that comes from that. Talk to other people, like really talk to other people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
connect with a friend. Sometimes just call up a friend, just talk about nothing is okay. You know, they might be a little
Yeah,
bit annoyed by it,
Hillary does
but
that often. Don't worry.
yeah. And connect with the community. There's a lot of volunteerism. There's meetup.com. Go out and invest in a hobby that you love and recognize when you need help. If it's getting too much where you can't manage, you can't think, you can't process, maybe it's time to reach out to someone you trust, someone you love, that you know that when you come to them and say, I'm not okay, that they will say, it's okay not to be okay. Go on, Teresa.
Okay, I dropped it in the chat for you. Some of the points we have already covered is valuing yourself and finding something to do.
Yeah?
You don't have to go far. Start your own little gardening. That is very
Oh, I
therapeutic.
love, you know me, I love gardening. One
Mm-hmm.
second. Petra, good night, honey. How you doing? And Colette said, I like taking long walks or going to the movies to escape a bit. I hear that. I like
Okay.
wrestling. I watch SmackDown. Hashtag SmackDown. Nicolette, put hashtag SmackDown. Yeah, go on.
Okay. Also, taking care of your body. Avoid smoking, and the new thing is vaping. Avoid that, and drink plenty of water,
Mm-hmm.
and having nutritious meals. Like Hillary said, a lot of exercise. That exercise really helps decrease your depression and anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and it improves your mood. When we work out,
Mm-hmm.
and when we have when you're working out, the only thoughts you can have
Yeah.
going on is how much I can do.
Mm.
And it's that adrenaline and even things like that that our body naturally create that helps us de-stress. That helps with depression,
Do you know that
right?
sometimes it's okay not to do anything? And sometimes it's okay to just say, you know
Sit
what?
and relax.
I can't.
I'm just gonna chill
Mm-hmm.
today.
I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just not going to deal with it. That is really okay. People think it's not. It is. It's actually great mental health, you know?
Getting enough sleep. That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. I dropped the pointers in the chat for you, so you
Yeah,
can.
I'm not going to open it because if I open it, then all kind of things happen. Send to me on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you have surround yourself with good people.
Yes. Wait,
People
wait,
with
wait.
strong.
Stop right there. Right there. Say that one more
Hmm?
time. Say that one more time.
Surround yourself with good people.
Surround yourself with good people. You know,
Surround yourself with
we
good
have a
people.
problem with titles. Let me just have a little speech moment. Ready, Teresa?
Okay, here we
Okay.
go.
Here we go. Here we
Go
go.
on.
Because the person is related to you as a really good friend or your mother doesn't mean they are entitled to abuse. Okay? They're not entitled to your mental health, damaging it. They're not entitled to disrespecting you, your time, or your boundaries if they're established. If they're not, you need to do that. And they are not entitled to you. What has to be clear is when it comes to having people around you that is supportive, that is your family. Because true supporters of you will not try to destroy you, will not try to harm you or hurt you, will not try to use words to discredit you. What they will do is always be honest, loving
I'll drink to that.
with you. Even if you mess up, you know what they're going to do? They're going to let you know that you messed up, but guess what? They'll be there in the morning. And that's my little rant. Go on.
Okay, I drop it in the chat for you that you can.
Hi, baby Eiffel. Yeah, go on.
Give yourself, meaning volunteer your time and energy to help someone else. And I find that when you're doing good for other people, you're enjoying it, and it gives you a sense of love for yourself, and so you have that appreciation from within.
But be careful.
So
be careful.
Giving of yourself. Not for you to be used.
But hold on. Be careful too. You can't help other people if you don't, or if you can't help yourself. If you can't help yourself, you're not helping anybody else. You're removing your problem or your pain so you don't have to focus and deal with it and focusing on other people's pain and problems. And guess what happens when you come back to you? The problem gets bigger. Okay? So you, in order, and I always talk about this in the workshops, is the airplane effect. Put the mask on your face first before you put it on others. Or not. Exactly what you think is going to happen is going to happen. Go on, Teresa.
Okay, learn how to deal with stress. Like it or not, stress is a part of life. Practice good coping skills.
Yep.
Right. There's now something called the 1 minute stress strategy. You can try that, or do Tai Chi. Do it, and here again, exercise. Come back, taking a walk in nature, walking through the rain. All these things that we take for granted. Having a pet, writing things down in your journal. All these things are stress reducers. Is that Cassidy?
Well, I'm looking at, Victor says, boot knocking relieves stress, asking for a friend. Yes, it does.
What's that?
Sex. Does sex release stress? Yes. Sex does release stress. However, you also have to deal with your problem so that when you finish boot knocking, according to you, you can actually enjoy the pleasure of it. Huh?
It releases stress for that moment.
But you still have to come back to the problem. So it releases stress, but make sure that you have a solution to your problem or a way of dealing with it after the boot knocking.
Well, one thing they say, always remember to smile and see the humor in life. And they're saying that research shows that laughter can boost your immune system.
Oh, yeah.
Skin, relax your body, and reduce stress.
I know that saying, how many muscles it takes to frown versus smiling?
246, you say? For a quiet time, they say try meditating, mindfulness, and or for relaxation exercises. What movie was it? Bad Boys with Martin.
Yeah.
You had this thing called Wusa.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can try your Wusa. And find ways for you to relax and meditate and help you feel calm. And
grounding is amazing. Amazing practice. Yeah,
I didn't get that. You were saying?
I said grounding is an amazing practice. I go hiking and I take my shoes off and I just put my foot on the ground. And just to touch the ground. Remember in Barbados I'm just talking about when I was a kid in Barbados, we used to go outside with no shoes on and it was an amazing feeling. You felt great and you would run faster and whatever. There is a method to that madness. Okay, because now over here in North America, you got to pay a whole bunch of money to go take your shoes off now. And they tell you, oh, take your shoes off. Like it was a new, a new
But like
discovery.
they say, they can, if you can find ways to make money by taking your shoes off, take your
Girl.
shoes off.
Remember back in the
Set,
90s, we
re-
didn't think we were going to pay for water. Here we are buying water bowls.
setting realistic goals.
Yeah.
Decide what you want to achieve academically, professionally, and personally, and write down the steps you need to realize your goals. Write it down, stick it on your wall, in the bedroom, stick it in the bathroom,
yes.
places that you frequent.
I am an advocate for that. So
every time you feel depressed, pass this wall, go, oh yeah, remember that. And your mind automatically goes to that moment, that happy thought, that positivity, and getting you out of the mode that you're in.
Another thing too is one of the things that I did in the workshop is I give people like a small little chalkboard to put in their pockets or wherever they want to put it. And what it is what is your purpose or passion? Because knowing your purpose is very important. And so and your purpose is normally something that you do as a child that you did for hours and hours without even thinking about it, and something you love doing. That is your purpose. And so I would tell people, take that and write it down, and then write 5 things you like to accomplish in your life. 1 this year, 2 in a couple of years, 3 lifelong, 4 something that you want to change with yourself tomorrow, and 5 something that you think is impossible. And I have a delay in my in my video. Anyways, so I told them, take that around. Anytime you feel down, take that out and look at it and see how amazing you are and what you're going to accomplish and what your journey is going to look like, and get excited about it. Use that as a motivation, inspiration of yourself to get better. And it's not about being selfish or vain or anything like that. It's about taking a minute and saying, you know what, this is important to me, and it's okay for me to think about me in this moment. And Barbados, let's go back to you. Let's continue about different things we can do in Barbados to get help for mental health.
Do you want me to still read the 10 points?
Yes, continue.
Okay. Break up the monotony. Although our routines make us more efficient and enhance our feelings of security and safety, there's a little chance to pace yourself. Take the pace can pick up and the tedious schedule. After jogging, plan a road trip, alter your jogging, plan a road trip, take a walk in different parks in Barbados. You can have a walk in Folsom Park, where you have the play area. Then you have the beach area. You can take a walk there. You have Farley Hill, where you can take a walk and have the nice view of the East Coast. Where else? You can go hiking and go through the many gullies and mountains that we have here. Although people think that Barbados is flat, we do have mountains. And Mount Hillaby, you can go up there and see the nice view. There are some videos that you will see when we make our posts, some of our videos of Barbados.
Okay.
So it's not a generic something, so you do
So I'm just going to read what's in the chat, because there's a couple of things going on here in the chat. So I'm gonna ignore Victor's pulling hair comment. And then he says, smoke and write when you are on your porcelain toilet. So like my toilet therapy, taking a minute. But Petra said, for me, when I don't have money to provide for my children, I get really frustrated. But I will always put on a smile on my face. But if people know what is behind the smile. And then Victor said, that's what I meant earlier, Petra. So this is what we also mean. You shouldn't have to put a smile on. It is okay to be frustrated. And it should be okay for you to show that frustration and not to be criticized or chastised about it. And this is the problem. Putting on the smile. You don't need to put that smile on. If you are angry, this is what I used to tell my kids. If you're angry, be angry. If you're upset, be upset. If you want to cry, cry. You have to let go of
Let
those
it
emotions.
out.
You let it out. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't, you will destroy you. And this is the problem that we're having in the Caribbean, is that we are not allowed, I don't want to put that word out there, to express ourselves. And when we, and especially as black women, I'm gonna pull the black women out. We are always associated as being strong, right? We're strong. We can handle it. We can manage it. Here's a news flash. We're humans. We have emotions and we have ups and downs, and sometimes we cannot handle it. Check in on your strong friend. Okay? So instead of saying, they got it, oh, they're strong, oh, this or whatever, say, you know what? Maybe she's not okay. Ask a question. And when the person say, yeah, I'm okay. What's okay about today? What happened? You can tell by a person's pattern if you love them enough. You can tell the
Encourage that
patterns.
person to converse. Then you get
Exactly.
stuff out. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Okay.
there, yep. Victor says it. Victor says you can't go to work like that. It might be called hostile. And this is another thing that black women have associated: angry black women. You remember that one, Victor? Not Victor. Teresa.
Yes.
Angry black women, or for
Mm-hmm.
black men, what they're aggressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're so afraid of those, stigmas, and we're so associated by having those attached to that. We have to have those conversations around all of that. All of that, ladies and gentlemen, is a mental health issue. Okay? The woman across the street from you that you see her struggling. And what do? Talk about her.
Yep. Gossip.
Gossip. Oh, she ain't got no money, right? You see all those kids running outside. She ain't good, right? Sure, her head ain't right. So if you know so much and you know that she needs help, why are you not supporting and saying, you know what? Hey, I see that you're struggling.
I'm seeing here in the chat, Baby Eiffel.
Yeah, Baby Eiffel says, Victor, I go to work with that smile on my face and no one will know what I'm going through. Though. And that's true. And that is true. And Baby Eiffel say, this is the problem out to others is the worst. No man is in the island. Those saying is to help us, not to break us down, to deal with it. Asking for help and assistance is not weakness, but being needy. Amen. It is not. And another thing that I'm gonna get really, really, I ain't even looking at the time. Let me tell you something. I am so sick and tired of people telling black people to buck up and shut up and relax and take it cool, and why why they call black men pussies and everything else. I'm so tired of it. Okay? We really have to look at our culture and be honest with ourselves and see how we treat each other and how we treat ourselves. It's okay to say you are not okay, people. Stop with all this, we strong and we've been through this and we've been through that. Yes.
One of the things I find that we likely to lean to is self-medication when we are depressed.
Yes.
When everything is overwhelming. You get a headache, you self-medicate. You go and say, okay, let me go and have a glass of this, I have a glass of that. Self-medication is a no. That's reality. It's a no-no. And when we self-medicate, the first thing we go and look for is alcohol.
Well, that's a whole bunch about alcoholism, but I'm not even gonna go there.
That just aggravates the problem. That just aggravates the problem.
And this is the thing, is that with our culture, we have been taught. And the thing is, it's so deep. It's much deeper than just mental health. It goes all the way back down to slavery, to be honest with you. If you look at the whole picture of how the culture was created, or I should say, how the culture was built up and how they were managed and told and conditioned, to believe and act and behave a certain way, and if you don't behave and believe a certain way, you are not of that culture, or something wrong with you. So we as a culture, where we are now, have to look over and say, you know what, this is not working for us. If the rise of suicide in Barbados is so eye-catching that people here in North America are now talking about it, it is time to check in on your damn neighbor and say, are you okay? And be okay with them saying they're not. This is the problem. There is no outlet. When you don't have an outlet to voice your emotion, to voice your opinion, to voice how you really truly feel this morning, and to know that I cannot be okay today, is extremely important, and that is not being done. So I am really, I spent the whole day being a little bit annoyed. I think my boyfriend was a little bit annoyed with me too. I couldn't explain myself. I am just really annoyed with us as a people. We have to start recognizing that some things that worked in the past cannot work in today's society. There's too much stress going on. The pandemic really added the financial piece to it. There's other pieces besides financial that are real for people, and we have to respect and remember that and understand that. And then when a person comes to you, or if you see let me tell you something, you know when a person changes. We choose to ignore because we don't want to deal with it, or we have our own things that we're dealing with. Okay? Teresa, you're gone.
I'm here.
Yeah. So in saying that, let's come together as Barbadians, as people around the world, Eastern Caribbean, whatever. Let's come together and figure this out. So check out the Psychiatric Hospital in Barbados. See what kind of supports that they need for volunteerism. Check out PAHO and see how you can help. And also check in your community. I've been told that the community wellness of Barbados, of how it used to be, is no longer there, where you know who your neighbor is. And a lot of that is, being lost. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm probably going to get in trouble for it, but whatever. Stop trying to be North American and be Barbadian, okay? I love my island. I love my island. I left there as a child, not by choice, but I love my island. And I brag about the culture and the beauty and the love and whatever, and to hear and that it's gone, to hear that it's gone, that is dying out, is very sad. And I'll tell you this, in the old Barbados that I know, where your neighbor knew everything, and if time you finished do something to the Bob in the street, your mom knew, that Barbados helped, okay, when there was a problem in the neighborhood. And so checking on your friend next door. Teresa, let's talk a little bit about Barbados. The live coming up on July 28th. I'm gonna read a real quick what was saying in the chat, and then we're gonna go right quick to that. Teresa's gonna tell you about that. She says, Victor said, take your madam pill and just be easy, aka rum and coke. I deal with that every day. I go to the parking lot and ignore those motherfuckers, cause I really wish they would sometimes. Well, or boot knocking. Tell him to lay out the pipe. It's good. Mental health. Barbados was built off of hypocrisy, and then that will never change in no time soon. Nothing will change in no time soon. It took forever to get to this kind of way, and it will take a long time to get back, but they have to be steps towards that. I know Barbados is working really hard with different organizations around the world to get mental health as a very important factor in Barbados, and we as Barbadians outside of the country have to motivate and understand and also support that drive for better mental health in Barbados, and for letting people know that they are okay if they're not okay. Teresa, talk about July 28th.
July 28th, we will be live at Folkestone Marine Park from 10 a.m. and we will be having some vendors there. Cat Spraddle Vodka, that's a sweet potato vodka. The the original and only sweet potato
Yeah.
vodka in the world. Thanks to Jamal, not Jamal, can't remember his name. So potato cat Spraddle.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ashlar designed with her creativity. You can see her creativity in her buys, in her little
Yeah.
trinkets, in her art. Also, we'll be having Christine Franklin. She'll be on
Mm-hmm.
set with us. That's a good life BB. She does a lot of promotions and helping people to be motivated
Mm-hmm.
and to push their business. She
And
does
talk
some
about,
video and
yeah, and talk
editing as
about what we're
well.
doing about raising money towards domestic
Yeah,
violence.
yeah, I'm coming there on the day. Items that will be sold will be going. Contribution of $1 will be going towards the shelter.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke to the persons in charge, and they're loving the idea. They're on board. Also, we have one of our sponsors, Welch's Bakery, and then
Mm-hmm.
some anonymous ones
Oh.
that are willing to give to support the cause.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with Welch's Bakery, there was an accident, so we just want to reach out to them and say speedy recovery. If you need us, we are here.
Yeah.
Who
and
else? Who else am I
and
missing? Thanks
I
for
also want to say one thing because this was actually a conversation I was having earlier this week, and you know the pharmaceutical industry is a $1 trillion industry, and Baby Eiffel just said something that I actually had to dealt with earlier this week and not realize this was the issue. I thought I was having all these different things and it was causing me stress. Um, some mental health issues is a vitamin and mineral deficiency. Most people don't realize that. And Baby Eiffel, I want to thank you for that because that is true for me. I was literally stressed out. Like I thought like everything was happening and I thought something was wrong with me. And when I got a final call from my dietitian, she said, and my doctor, they said to me, "You are vitamin D deficient." And
Mhm.
no one told me that. No one would tell me that. They had me doing all kind of different things and sending a whole bunch of money everywhere and doing this and doing that and doing all kind of therapy. And it took one person to look at my blood work and said to me and say to me, "What you need to eat is fish. What you need to do is this." And I'll tell you why they never told me. They never told me anything. Hush, Victor. They never told me anything because for me to go buy fish or eat more fruits and vegetables is cheap. But to go and buy me a pill costs a whole bunch of money. Anyways, Teresa, July 28th, as you said, we will be live in Folkestone Park, St. James. I'm excited about
From
that. A couple
10.
more days. I'm
Mhm.
excited about that. We are going, as Teresa said, we're going to donate $1 from each item sold to the shelter in Barbados for domestic victims, and or I should say survivors.
Uh,
Um, and then also
view.
to we are going to be having Eventbrite tickets, and it's $1 for the ticket. All the money goes to the shelters. Go on, Teresa. Sorry, I cut you off.
Okay, you were saying for domestic victims, so I tell you abuse, not
Abuse.
not domestic victims.
No, sorry, a domestic. I meant to say domestic violence, and
Violence. Okay,
yeah,
okay. Yeah, so we're that will be happening.
yeah,
Um, and that's basically it, right? Really.
yep. So we
We're
will.
having some fun facts on the set, so
Yep.
we invite everyone to come on down, participate. Those that be on the beach or social market Nicolette, she'll be there.
One of our fan favorites,
So we'll
Rudy,
do
will be
in.
in the house live in color.
Mhm. And we want to thank Gordon, the fish cake guy we call him.
Yep.
He's not on social media. We just
Right.
have email, so we can't give you an Instagram handle. But once you go down
Thanks,
to
Victor. He
Folkestone
said good
Park,
topic.
he's on the right, and you can indulge in his fish cakes.
Yes. All
We
right.
also
So,
want to thank
mhm,
Natasha,
yeah,
Makeup Barbados. She'll be doing our makeup.
yeah. I can't wait. I'm
And
excited about that.
for my hair, I want to thank Tressa's Closet. You
Okay.
can check her out on Instagram. That's Trestle Closet. You can check her out on Instagram for all your hair care needs.
Mhm. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. All right. So again, thank you. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment about tonight's show. Remember to check out the Psychiatric Hospital of Barbados, and as well as PAHO, and give them support. You know, they're always looking for volunteers for certain things. Show for the events and give money. And remember, if your neighbor is not okay, please allow them to be not okay and be there as a support system. Sometimes silence is support. So with that note, Teresa, it was always a pleasure, and we will see you next Saturday live here on Hot Tea with Pleasure. And we can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and we're no longer on Facebook, but RSS. And on RSS, you can listen to any platform from Google to Apple and Spotify. We're everywhere. Bye, Teresa.
Bye.
We'll see you next Saturday. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Victor and Petra and Baby Eiffel and everybody that's in the chat. Some people don't say anything, so we know they're there. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye. Thanks, Colette.
Cause once life and sugar, you just want
miss that stack, taking big swings, put your hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel?